All right. The next thing. All right. The next thing we're going to do here is we're going to put our head gaskets on, and we need to make sure all this surface area is dry and no oil residue. The head gaskets has to stick to this. I want this to be as clean as possible. But I put a little carburetor cleaner on a shop towel and took my time and cleaned it all up, and then I used another towel and got all the leftover residue off of there. And just make sure you don't leave any lint from the rag on there either. But this is pretty clean here now. So take our head gasket. And depending on what kind of engine you're working on, there may be a marking that might say front of engine or top or whatever, so always pay attention to that. On your Chevy engine, they really don't need to mark it. You can put it on either way, that way or that way. But we're going to put this facing up like that. That one's ready to go. Same deal over here. I already cleaned these up pretty good, but I like to just double make sure if I can. Set the head gasket on here in place. And then we want to do the same thing as clean up those surfaces of the cylinder heads real good before we put those on too. So that'll be our next step. Alright, well, as you can see, these cylinder heads have a little alignment dowel. There's one right here, and one on this end of the head also, right here. And that's how you line up your head gasket and your cylinder head. So we've already cleaned up our cylinder head and ready to install it. Not really much to it. Just to line up the alignment dowel holes. One over here, one over there, set it on. That's it. Now we have the one cylinder head on, and next we're going to lay the other head on, and we'll go ahead and get some bolts started in here. I'll show you how to torque those down next. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is install our cylinder head bolts, which hold the cylinder head onto the engine. And on this Chevrolet engine there are 3 different kinds of bolts. What we got here is we have the short ones, which all go across the bottom rows. We have the medium size one, which has 2 on each cylinder head. One in this corner, one in this corner, right here. All the other ones on the top of the cylinder head are the long bolts. So you have 3 different size bolts, small, medium, and large. And what we're going to do here is, since all of these cylinder head bolt threads screw into the cooling system in the block, we're going to need to seal these threads up. And I used the same black silicone and put about 1/2 inch of the bolt, put a little dab of silicone on there like that. Sink it in there. Just like that. Just all you have to do is fill the threads up. You don't have to put really a lot. I'll do a couple of these. Alright. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and put all the cylinder head bolts in, just laying in there floppy with some silicone on there. And we're going to go around and I'll show you the way to tighten them in the right sequence. Alright. We've got all our head bolts started in here. And what we're going to do is just take our 3/8 ratchet, get everything snug at first before we tighten anything. So we're going to start in the center and do basically a star pattern to tighten the cylinder head pressure evenly. It'll distribute the weight out evenly, and we're going to have to do this 2 or 3 times. Anyway, we're going to tighten here, 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 farther out, farther out, farther out, farther out, to get them all done. So very basic. Just get them down snug so you can just barely feel the gasket smashing a little bit. You won't be able to tighten it too tight with this little ratchet, so that's a whole main idea. Alright, a couple more bolts left here. Alright, I'm going to tighten up the other. Alright, I'm going to tighten up this other cylinder head and then we'll come back and torque them. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is torque down the cylinder head bolts. Same thing, we're going to start at the middle. Torque specifications on these are 65 foot-pounds, and we're going to go ahead and just get them snug down at 45, and we'll go back around and torque them down the final 65 right after that. So I'm going to go 45 pounds on these, which is pretty darn close to what I'm going to have them already, I think, by hand. This way we get them all evenly. That's the best way to do it. And it's okay if you check and double check a bolt or two. It's better than missing one. Alright, that's 45 pounds. We're going to go to 65 now. Okay. Same deal. Start in the center and work your way out. Alright, those are done now. Again, we're going to go ahead and double check them. I like to just go in a straight line when I'm double checking them. That way I know I don't miss one. There you go. Got these heads torqued down, 65 foot-pounds, like they're supposed to. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to check our push rods and rocker arms for wear. Get those installed and adjusted. Put the intake manifold on. We'll be done.